Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. The rapid advancements of artificial intelligence has transformed it from an experimental technology to a critical business asset. Yet, despite the enthusiasm surrounding AI, many organizations struggle with a fundamental question. Are we actually getting a return on our AI investment? During a poll Acolar AI ran this week, you also identified as your number one challenge. Today, we'll explore how to measure AI ROI effectively and examine real-world case studies across different industries and provide a framework for evaluating both the quantitative and qualitative impacts of AI implementation. Welcome to an executive webinar by Acolar AI, an AI consulting agency. I am Sannette Coetzee, the CEO and Agile AI adoption, culture, and transformation expert with over 20 years experience, which include PayPal and Visa. I'm excited to introduce today's agenda. We're going to cover 4 topics: understanding AI ROI, the human element in AI ROI, real-world case studies in AI ROI, a framework for measuring AI ROI. Say that 4 times in a row. So let's delve in. So what makes ROI different when it comes to AI adoption? Traditional ROI calculations seem straightforward. Gain from investment minus cost of investment, and then they take that over cost of investment. However, AI introduces unique challenges like time horizons. Often takes longer than timeframes to demonstrate full value. In our last webinar last week, we said the mean is around 16 months. It's got indirect benefits. Many AI benefits are second-order effects, much like Agile. The implementation complexity, the technical debt, integration cost, and training can hide true costs. It's an evolving technology. The AI landscape changes rapidly, affecting long-term calculations. And then finally, the human element. Workforce adaptations, trust relationships, and cultural transformation are all elements that you have to consider for a successful adoption. Well, what are the typical ROI metrics we should be looking at then? First, the direct financial metrics. These are the ones that your CFO cares about, like cost reduction, increased revenue, margin improvement, and time to value. They answer the question, are we getting a return fast enough to justify the spend? Next is a strategic value. This is where AI helps you play a different game entirely by unlocking new capabilities, improving your competitive positioning, expanding your market research, and opening doors to innovation that simply weren't possible before. Next, and perhaps the most important, are the human impact metrics. These include adoption and usage rates, employee satisfaction, workforce efficiency, collaboration effectiveness, and even cognitive load reduction. If your people aren't benefiting or embracing the change, you won't see lasting change. And then finally, of course, operational metrics, which are often where AI is the biggest day-to-day impact. Think productivity gains, error reduction, faster processes, and optimized use of resources. These improvements are often invisible until they're gone, and then very noticeable. The point is, ROI is not one-dimensional. It is the combined financial, operational, strategic, and human impact that tells the story. I saw there's something in the chat. If you have a question, please stop me and we can answer, or we can wait until the end of the presentation. Was there a question? Right. Move on to the next element. So I really wanted to dive deeper into this topic, the human element in AI ROI. In last week's webinar, we talked about the 70% that this contributes to the success or failure of your adoption. It also contributes to 40 to 60 of the total implementation impact. So workforce transformation. Here are metrics you can look at: time saved per employee, so hours per week, retraining costs per employee, change and job satisfaction scores. More reports are coming out that people are using AI effectively, are actually happier in their jobs, which is great. Employee retention rates for affected roles, time to proficiency with new AI tools. The next in this element is the trust and adoption. AI systems that aren't trusted won't be used, regardless of their technical performance. Trust development requires investment, transparency, explainability, and gradual implementation. Some key metrics you can look at is the adoption rate, so the percentage of eligible users actively using the AI system, override frequency, how often users reject the AI recommendations, trust survey scores, so measuring perceived reliability and transparency, time to trust, how long until consistent reliance on AI, and abandonment patterns is where users stop using the AI. Next, we look at cultural adoption. So organizations must shift from intuition-based to data-driven decision-making. I think this is nothing new. This cultural transformation can be the longest part of the AI journey and the hardest to quantify. So key metrics in this space is cultural assessment scores, measuring shift from the data-driven or towards the data-driven decision-making, employee net promoter score for AI initiatives, internal knowledge sharing about AI applications. Are they actually talking to one another about what is going on, and are they excited about it? And changes in the organizational structure will really show if the culture is also changing. And then the new roles that are created due to this AI implementation. All of these will indicate that you're actually ingraining it into your culture. Then human AI collaboration, which is a fascinating aspect. The most successful AI implementations focus on augmenting human capabilities rather than replacing them. The collaboration model shows 3 to 5 times better ROI than pure automation approaches. So key metrics, decision quality, comparing human only, AI only, and collaborative decisions, process completion time, human plus AI versus previous methods, innovation metrics, new ideas generated through human AI collaboration, percentage of tasks handled by AI versus humans versus the collaborative approach, and then changes and reported work stress levels and cognitive load. And as somebody who's worked in the product development lifecycle, cognitive load has always been a very big issue when it comes to teams. So the key insight here is really to understand that if you invest in the human element of AI adoption, your ROI will be 35% higher than if you solely focus on the technical deployment. Any questions? Okay, so we're moving on to the next element. So we've got 2 more topics left, and I'm really excited about the next because we're going to go into some case studies. If any of you have been watching my webinar so far, I like to use AI tools as part of the presentation. So I thought instead of us just listening to me the whole time, I've actually used some AI tools to take these real world case studies and do storytelling around them. So you'll be seeing some videos. The information about the case studies is still available. I can send you guys a PDF afterwards. Just ping me, email me, DM me. So without further ado, our first case study is around customer service, and it's from JP Morgan and Chase. They built an AI-powered virtual assistant, Coin, which is contract intelligence, to analyze legal documents, extract important data points.
Why do 70% of JP Morgan Chase's legal team feel happier at work now? It's all thanks to AI. JP Morgan's Coin, Contract Intelligence AI, is transforming their legal department. It analyzes legal documents in seconds, not hours, cutting review time by 80% and reducing errors by 30%. The result, massive savings and a shift in focus to high-value tasks. Even better, legal pros who once resisted AI now love it for freeing them from routine work. With AI, they're more satisfied and focused on complex legal challenges. Talk about a win-win.
I love it. So the lesson there is ROI for that specific case study really tells us that it's quicker and clearly demonstrated when replacing high volume, repetitive knowledge work with clear error and time metrics. Our next case study is from manufacturing and a company called Siemens. They use AI-driven predictive maintenance in their gas turbine factories.
Hey everyone, today I'm diving into how Siemens is using AI to transform their gas turbine factories. Yeah, you heard that right. Factories are getting a high-tech upgrade. So Siemens decided to step up their game with AI-driven predictive maintenance. What does that mean? Well, they've got these sensors that collect operational data from all their equipment. Think of it as a Fitbit, but for machines. All that data gets fed into machine learning models that predict when maintenance is needed. No more guessing or waiting for things to break down. Here's where it gets cool. They integrated this AI with their maintenance scheduling systems. The result? A 30% reduction in unplanned downtime. That's massive. Maintenance costs also dropped by 20% and equipment lifespan extended by 15%. Oh, and they managed to cut energy consumption by 10%. Talk about a win-win. But it's not just about the numbers. This change had a huge impact on the people working there too. Maintenance teams went from constantly reacting to problems to predicting and preventing them. It's like going from playing whack-a-mole to having a crystal ball. Plus, the workforce picked up some new data literacy skills along the way. And guess what? They didn't just dive in head first. Siemens built trust by starting with small-scale pilots and showing they work before going all in. The big takeaway? AI's ROI in industrial settings isn't just about immediate gains. It's a long-term game where benefits compound over time. Measure it across multiple dimensions like time, cost, energy, and equipment lifespan. All right, that's a wrap on Siemens AI magic in manufacturing. You are watching one of Acolar AI's webinars on AI ROI. Catch you in the next one.
So I'm smiling because even the AI struggled to say AI ROI there. So the lesson there, well, there's quite a few lessons in there. I like the one about the pilot phased approach, as with any big organizational change, but specifically as well, it compounds over time. The ROI compounds over time, and it should be measured across multiple dimensions. In this case, it's time, cost, energy, and equipment lifestyle. And the lesson there is as well is that it will unfold what these metrics is going to be in the future as this technology is very new. Okay, moving on to our final case study, which is in retail, and this is from Stitch Fix. They have quite a few AI improvements in their space, like AI-driven style matching algorithms, continuous feedback loops from customers, hybrid human AI recommendation systems.
Retail used to be one size fits all, impersonal, inefficient, and overwhelming. Then came Stitch Fix, a company that didn't just disrupt the fashion industry, they redefined it. From day one, Stitch Fix built their entire business around AI-powered personalization, not as a bolt-on, not as a gimmick, but as the core engine of everything they do. They combine powerful algorithms with human insight to deliver curated fashion tailored to every customer's unique style, size, and preferences. It started with AI-driven style matching algorithms. Then came continuous feedback loops, learning from every try-on, every return, every comment. But the real genius? A hybrid recommendation system where AI does the heavy lifting and human stylists bring the heart. The results were undeniable. A 30% higher conversion rate than traditional retail, an 80% customer retention rate, 25% more efficient inventory management, and the ability to scale to millions of customers with just a fraction of the traditional retail staff. But behind every data point is something more powerful. People, stylists working hand in hand with algorithms. AI spotting the patterns, humans adding the nuance, a cultural commitment to partnership between intelligence and empathy. The lesson? For digital native companies, AI ROI isn't about internal before and after comparisons. It's about industry benchmarks. It's about scaling trust. And it's about reimagining what's possible when technology doesn't replace us, but works with us. This is the Stitch Fix AI transformation, where intelligence meets intuition. And the future of retail is already here. Inventory management efficiency improved by 25%. Scale to serve millions of customers with a fraction of traditional retail staff. Human element impact. Stylists work collaboratively with AI, each focusing on their strengths. Human creativity and emotional intelligence complement AI's pattern recognition. Cultural emphasis on human-AI partnership from company founding. Lesson. For digital native businesses, AI ROI should be measured against industry benchmarks rather than internal before or after comparisons.
So there was a new tool that I played with. I think we all heard the lesson there. I think there was quite a few in there that I heard personally. I love where they're talking about using the hybrid and collaborative approach between AIs and then the heart from the stylist. I think that was just beautiful. And, the lesson for ROI specifically, digital native businesses, it shouldn't be compared to before and after, but it should be compared to industry benchmarks. So that was a new tool that I played with the lady in the pink. It's a tool called HiGen specifically that helps you do AI narration. And you can hear I gave her a case study. They turned it into a specific script, and then her voice, tonality, and emotion is built in by the AI. I used in video AI, which is where you put text to video, and the video itself chooses any, you can use stock media. It can also, for a few more credits, if you want to spend money on it, generate some media for you, and you can change it yourself. There's a script that you can edit yourself, and I just think it's really good. I hope you enjoyed those little snippets. Moving on to the framework for measuring ROI. Before we delve into what that framework can look like, I just want to take a moment and talk about the common pitfalls as we're thinking about AI ROI. So first, focusing exclusively on cost reduction. AI has the potential to save cost, yes, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. Focusing on savings can build blindness to the broader value, like growth, innovation, customer experience, and even brand differentiation. Secondly, ignoring organizational change management costs. People need training, processes need to shift, and roles need to evolve. These costs are real and often overlooked. Ignoring them results in resistance, poor adoption, and ultimately wasted investment. Thirdly, underestimating integration complexity. Getting AI to work seamlessly with existing tools, processes, and workflows are rarely plug and play. This integration work can take longer than expected, especially in legacy environments. Fourth, setting unrealistic timelines. Leaders often expect instant results, but AI adoption, especially the kind that creates lasting impact, requires thoughtful experimentation, iteration, and learning. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Failing to account for data quality issues. Garbage in, garbage out. If your data is incomplete, biased, or siloed, your AI outputs will reflect that. Cleaning and structuring data is often the biggest hidden cost and effort. 6, overlooking the human element and cultural factors. It's not just a technical change, it's a cultural one. Trust, transparency, psychological safety, all of these influence how teams interact with AI tools and make decisions based on them. And then finally, not accounting for trust development time. It's a new metric that we're getting familiar with, trust development time. People don't automatically trust AI, especially in decision making. Time and transparency are needed to build that trust internally with teams and externally with customers. Avoiding these pitfalls can make the difference between an AI experiment that fizzles out and one that becomes a true competitive advantage. Now, let's dive into our 5-step framework. So step 1, define success metrics before implementation. None of this is new to all of us. It's all old hat, and just reminding us of that 4 comprehensive dimensions when you think about your measurements, like direct financial metrics, your operations, your strategic value, and your human impact metrics. Make sure you have a baseline and tie it back to your company's strategic objectives. Avoid the pitfall of the cost focus only by defining a balanced scorecard of metrics across financial, operational, strategic, and human dimensions. Step 2, calculate the total cost of ownership. This includes the initial development and the purchase, integration cost, training of both AI systems and human users, data preparation, ongoing maintenance and updates, infrastructure requirements, change management, and organizational adaptation. You can look back at all those human AI element metrics that I explained before. Those will go into here. Avoid the hidden cost pitfall by including all of these, and make sure your change management is addressed, because typically that account for 40 to 60% of total project expenses. Step 3, measure direct and indirect benefits. You have to track all of it. So primary benefits, we've talked about that verbatim, cost savings, efficiency. Secondary benefits, employee satisfaction, innovation capacity, opportunity costs avoid, new capabilities enabled, workforce transformation impact, like track the adoption rate, the override frequency we talked about, documented time savings per role and reallocation of effort, quantified improvements in decision quality and accuracy, assess changes in your job satisfaction retention. Avoid the ignore direct benefits pitfall by systematically capturing and valuing second-order effects and strategic advantages that often exceed direct cost savings. Step 4, establish realistic timeframes for evaluation. Use a phased implementation. Those who are familiar with the Basecamp approach, use regular measured checkpoints and milestones. Have short-term milestones, have medium-term evaluation, long-term strategic assessments, and phase these out really. We have recommended timeframes as we've seen across projects that we recommend here. Cultural adaptation benchmarks, what it would look at each of these areas for the culture to have changed when it comes to roles. Look at all those metrics we've talked about before. Trust development timeline with specific checkpoints. Understand how you are going to measure trust and put these checkpoints in place with your rollout of the technology. So overcome the unrealistic timelines pitfall by setting phased expectations with early wins to maintain momentum while allowing sufficient time for strategic benefits to materialize. And then finally, create feedback loops and adaptation mechanisms. Make sure there's feedback and adapt, you plan and react to change, continuous monitoring. Make sure there's regular assessments associated with each of these phased benchmarks we've talked about. Adaptation based on results. Your ROI as well as your milestones will change as you learn more. Employee input and experience tracking. Technology performance optimization, and then have formal review cycles with stakeholder input. So avoid the set and forget pitfall by establishing ongoing measurement processes that enable course correction and continuous improvement of both the AI system and the ROI model itself. So then just to wrap up, let's look at these common pitfalls and if we really overcame them. So develop a balanced scorecard approach that includes strategic innovation metrics to overcome, focusing exclusively on cost reduction. Include formal change management work streams and budgets in your initial planning to overcome organizational change resistance. Conduct thorough technical assessments and involve IT architecture teams early to overcome the integration complexity. Let's take a minute here. We recommend, and this is what we've seen work well with our customers, actually doing a readiness assessment across all of the elements in your organization, not just technical. That will be the data, your people, your learning agility, your customers, all of the above. Then to overcome the unrealistic timeframes, we've talked about creating a phased value realization timelines approach to set expectations and review and adapt. Ensure that you include data preparation and quality improvements as a distinct project phase. There's lots of vendors out there now that do this for you as a service. Then integrate adoption metrics, some of those that we've talked about before, into your feedback loops from the outset. Also have in your organization of your AI transformation team a work stream that focuses on this, but have your change management be effective from day one. And then ensure You are accounting for trust development time by building explicit trust building phases into each project plans. And by that, we mean what we love and seem to work very well is spinning up community of practices, getting your opinion leaders to talk about these initiatives, getting your leaders to model how they are actually using AI, but creating a real buzz around it, doing hackathons, giving people time to actually play around with it and build that familiarity. So our final thought is that ROI isn't one size fits all. Consider time saved, smart decisions, and long-term scalability. Measure what matters to your business. This was a webinar by Acolar AI. We take you from readiness to results. If you're interested in learning more, please ping me on LinkedIn or send me an email, or you can even call me.